Meeting will come to order, please. The notice requirements of the Open Publics Meeting Act for this meeting have been satisfied. Would you please take a second, turn off electronic equipment as we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Johanna, call the roll, please.
Mayor Becker?
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg?
I am here.
At the beginning of this meeting, we have a very pleasant occasion. Commissioner?
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome, everyone. It's really a great day in Margate and a great day for the Margate Police Department. I want to recognize we have Chief Biaggi from Bender here, our adjoining next door neighbor, and Chief Colmone, along with many police officers and administration from across South Jersey. And we have our men in blue in the back. Thank you all for being here, family and friends. And our former chief, David Wolfson. Thank you, Chief, for your service to this town for the years that you did the work. So, I would like Mrs. Hankinson and Ray and Nicholas to come up. Matt was born and raised on Quincy Avenue, so he's homegrown, as Nicholas is homegrown also. He attended Union Avenue, Granville, and High School. Graduated from Atlantic High in 1989. Attended Elon University and graduated with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Public Administration in 1993. He started a position with the county as a corrections officer in 1995 and was hired in 98 as a police officer here in Margate. And then he moved it through the ranks. Sergeant in 2002, lieutenant in 2011, operations commander in 15. And I had the honor to do the interviews when he was appointed captain in 2016. And the one thing that stuck in my head as I asked one of the questions was, where do you see Margate in the future, and where would you like to be? And he said it was his goal to be the chief someday in this great town. And having a homegrown kid come up through the ranks and become chief is really a great accomplishment. He served as range master, traffic safety supervisor, internal affairs investigator, field training supervisor, and administrative commander during his career. And as I said before, lifelong resident of Margate. So he knows Margate inside and out, and we're really proud of the work you've done so far. And I think that through the process, you've earned this, Matt. Thank you. So I would ask you, the Bible's right here. Right behind you. Okay. Please raise your right hand and place your left hand on the Bible and repeat after me. State your full name.
I, Matthew Arthur Hankinson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same and to the governments
to the same and the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform the duties
perform the duties
of the Office of Chief of Police
of the Office of Chief of Police
in the City of Margate,
in the City of Margate,
New Jersey,
in New Jersey,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability,
Help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you.
I'm seldom at a loss for words, but this is probably one of those times where I am a little bit at a loss for words. Looking around the room, friends, family, Thank you for celebrating this day with me. Took a long time, a lot of sacrifices along the way. The men and women in my police department, I can't say enough. It's because of you I'm standing here. I just hope that I can continue to serve the citizens in my police department for as long as possible, and you know I'm always there for you. Again, thank you everybody, and I really appreciate it.
The official Margate news.
It's not one of those.
She is the official down beach news, as opposed to the bus.
Chief, you want to come back up? I mean, now you're good?
Check it. One minute.
That's the city engineer.
Let's go. As there are no special items for discussion on the agenda, we'll go right to department head reports, and I can start with Chief Adams today.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Just a couple things. One, we had a really great event today that we were able to host the Easter Seals of Atlantic County area, and we had 20 of the people who attend Easter Seals come to the firehouse. It was really a great event for them, but also for the fire department, and we're just happy we were able to provide that for them. We have another great event that we're involved with sponsoring with our FMBA, and that's this Saturday, the Heart of Surfing event. And it's basically a surfing event for anybody with any abilities. And we've been doing this now. This will be the third year that we've been involved in this program. And to see these kids' faces and to see them out on the boards and see what they're doing, you can't even describe how you feel afterward. It's been one of the most heartwarming events that I've been involved in. Lastly, I just want to make it, and I'm sure Roger is aware of this as well, but I'm going to be attending a meeting in Ventnor on Monday. They have a big road construction project coming up with Swarthmore, Wellington, Lafayette, and the area is going to be closed for almost a week, correct? And it happened once already. It was like a day and a half, but it's going to affect the response to areas out there, including Shalom House and that, which we're working with Ventnor City to provide automatic aid to those buildings. But one thing for the Margate residents to know is when Ventnor is responding, they will be coming through Margate to gain access to that area of town. So just as a forewarning, don't be warned or think it's out of sorts if you see a Ventnor ambulance or fire apparatus coming down Claremont Avenue. I believe it's going to be in August, Roger? Correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
Yeah, I think Chief Cahill told me around August 9th, but I'll be attending a meeting on Monday, and I'm sure you'll probably be there as well.
Right.
Just to make sure. But just so forewarned, don't be warned, it's no problem if you see Ventnor's apparatus or police or personnel responding in Margate. And that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief. Lisa?
Good afternoon. I think it's a day of good news for everyone. First, congrats to Matt, Chief Hankinson. I know I'll do a fabulous job. I'd also like to congratulate Pop Verna on the birth of his grandson. That's two good happenings for our employees. And then I'm just going to have that dovetail into more good news for the city and our residents. First, I just want to give you an update of the results of that food drive that we had. I did notify, I sent everyone an email. Statewide, that food stock program that was started in Central Jersey, their goal was to raise 10,000 pounds of food. Margate alone, for our first attempt, managed to raise 1,016 pounds. And as of the other day, I think all the municipalities that participated, and I'm pretty sure that Margate was the only one this far south, they were up to like 28,000 pounds of food. So it was a very successful event. And I just want to, stress the fact that I made sure that our donations were sent locally, and they did go to the Community Food Bank of South Jersey. In fact, we actually received some more donations after the truck came and picked them up, and I took them there myself. So if anyone ever still wants to donate, I would be happy to go and make sure that to bring them to the food bank myself, because it's a very deserving cause. Now, the most important news that I have to report is that we recently had a rating from Standard & Poor's. As you know, we need to do this every time we issue bonds, which we're scheduled to have a bond sale next Tuesday, the 23rd. And Standard & Poor's raised or increased our rating from a AA, which was already very good, to a AA plus, which is the second highest that you can get. So that is a testament to our commissioners, to our department heads, to our employees, and to the residents of Margate, because it's because of our strong economy, our financial management, and our stability, the increasing surplus, the increasing ratables, the growth in our community, our budgetary performance, among other factors, that we were able to achieve this. And I did pull up some statistics and to see, what other municipalities in New Jersey were being rated. There's only 11% of what I could find what was available. 11% have the highest rating of AAA. The only one in South Jersey was Avalon, who had that rating that I could see. Then there were only 20% that had the AA plus that we just recently achieved. Longport, our neighbor, is one of those towns. And then the next town closest to us, I believe, was Cinnaminson. So this is a great achievement. It will help us to realize a better interest rate on the issue of our bonds and reduced costs of issuance that are associated with the sale. So it's very notable, and you all should be very proud that we were able to accomplish this. Maybe next time I still will strive for the AAA, so if we keep it up, we'll go. If we ever get that bulkhead and promenade, I just might do it, you never know. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to report. Yeah, that's all I have. No, we're still waiting for the release of those pension figures in order for us to get our audit. I'm on top of it, but as soon as we have it, I will let you know. Okay? Exactly. Yes, because it's a required disclosure for a municipal audit. It has to be a disclosure contained in that document. And I don't know if you were going to report on this, but the tax bills should be going out soon. The overall tax rate, there is a slight decrease. Everyone will be happy to hear. The municipal rate had a decrease of 1/100th of a penny this year, and then overall, after we got the figures from the county and along with the school, our tax rate is $1.542. So you will see a savings in your tax bill. Probably the average assessment will probably see a reduction. I think it's approximately $50. So it's better, it's good. So, John, you should be happy with that, as should everyone else.
Never.
Never,
Okay.
never.
So, yeah, well, it's better than an increase. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. For the first time officially, I call upon Chief Hankinson.
Just the police department, we had a successful July 4th weekend. Not a lot of incidents, a lot of traffic, a lot of people in town. We have a lot of people that come to this barrier island. We have Class 2 officers that just graduated the academy that have started on the street in the last 2 weeks. They're being trained right now for enforcing our parking issues. We recently had the auction. I won't take Fred's thunder on that, but we had a very successful auction with old police vehicles. The old tow lot is now a working parking lot, so we're moving forward.
Thank you. Rich?
Just dovetailing on Lisa, I want to publicly thank Lisa and the professional team that she works with, the auditors and the advisors and financial advisors who work seamlessly. They spoke with Standard & Poor's on a group telephone call. And frankly, obviously, we're all pleased. I told Lisa today I was pleased, but also pleasantly surprised that we got the upgrade. She said basically all of it, but there is a multi-page report that we can post on the website that people might be interested in, which explains the basis for the upgrade. And it includes all of the things that Lisa talked about. It's budgeting, it's the outlook for the future, the economic stability of the community, and the economic and the stability of the management team, including the elected people, and that all contributes to the upgrade. With respect to the tax rate, Lisa mentioned that. Tax bills will be going out probably last week of this month. There's a resolution on the agenda to extend the date for interest-free payment of taxes, and I think it goes to August 30th or 30th. So everybody will be able to, even though people are already paying their taxes ahead of time, which we appreciate. Financially, that's all I have. I do want to mention to the commissioners that I'm going to hand out a draft of a telecommuting policy. We have a lot of policies, as you know, in our policy book. We were asked to look at a policy as it relates to telecommuting. We have a draft here, and I'd like some feedback from the commissioners over the next few weeks and others who would like to review it to see what you think of it so that we can get it on the books and adopt it. It is recommended that this policy be limited for medical reasons and be for 6 months with the possibility of beyond the 6 months being able to extend it for good reason. Obviously, there's all kind of reasons why you can do telecommuting, but I think we'd like to start with that. That's what our recommendation is. I'm open to feedback otherwise, but that's the way it's written at this point. That's all I have right now.
Thank you, Rich. Ed, do you have anything else?
Well, I don't want to count my chickens, but since I won't be here for the next meeting, I just want to publicly thank you guys for putting us on the agenda for reappointment. Happy to be here and looking forward to working with the city going forward. Other than that, I have nothing else.
Thank you, Ed. I wouldn't leave if I were you. Roger?
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations go to Chief Matt Hankinson. So the Army Corps project didn't burn you out, so that's good. Congratulations to Ed Dennis on being reappointed as city engineer. I think it's a valid accomplishment for your firm and for you. The Wawa signs have been installed. I hope you didn't trip over them, but they're good. And if anybody wants to beat the heat next Thursday night, there's a planning board meeting here for about an hour. Thought it'd be fun. We'll have movies afterwards, popcorn. No drinking. That's it.
Thank you, Roger. Jimmy?
Congratulations, Matt. Good job today. Ed, good luck with the next 3 years. Rich had asked the chief, myself, and Mr. Scott Abbott to look into the rental ordinance to see if we needed to update it about the Airbnbs in Verbo. At this point, we had a meeting this week, and we feel like we're pretty much airtight on it. We have a pretty good registration form, which is available on our website, and that's downloadable. You fill it out, it's $100. You can get a seasonal license to occupy the structure, and then all we ask is that you provide a tenant form update, which is also on our website, and then you can provide that to our office to notify us the change in occupancy in each individual changeover. I think Scott, you would agree that I think this is the best we can do to control the situation at hand. If there is any issues that do come up that you feel that you need to have addressed, please call the police department at 609-822-1151 and report it. At that point, I think that, there's nothing else we can really do to control the if there's a overactive rental. And that's all I have.
Good job, Jim. Thank you. Frank?
Congratulations, Matt. Ed, be a pleasure working with you for the next few years. We haven't met in a long time, but beach stock was a great day down on the beach. It takes the Public Works Department a few days out of our schedule to assist with them and help them run that. The fireworks were fantastic on the beach on the 4th of July. There were some negative pictures posted on the 5th on Facebook about trash on the beach, but it took us 2.5 hours to clean the beach completely that day. It was open before, we were done before 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was spotless. Out at the ball field, we did some maintenance work out there with the bathrooms. We put some new toilets in and stuff, and we also dug up the sewer line and replaced that all the way out into the street past the gates. Last week, at the end of last week at Thurlow and Atlantic, one of the manholes went bad for our sanitary sewer, and we had an emergency fix on it, which took 1 day on Monday. So everything's fine there. The county came out with a new door knocker, and it's an educational door knocker. You'll be seeing it around town. It's to tell you the right things to do about recycling and the wrong things to do about recycling. So if anybody's questioned about it, it is the county program. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Frank.
Sure.
Scott?
Mayor, Commissioners, I have a whole bunch of items here. Let me dovetail in on what construction official Galantina said. That we did meet and dealt with the issue of short-term rentals. City Administrator Deeney, Jim from his office, and I know that this one's been close to your heart. We do feel that the ordinance that we currently have in effect is very good. Chief Hankinson, who was at the meeting with us, reviewed what can be done. And I think really it comes down to if there's a problem with a house next door making noise, they need to call our police department. Our police are well trained. They know how to deal with this. Chief Hankinson, congratulations, by the way, Chief. I think you're probably the only chief in New Jersey intimately familiar with beach replenishment programs, having been our delegate to all the meetings with them. So you have a second job. You have a second job, man. Line up. But anyhow, so the chief and Jimmy's team, his forms, we found them to be perfect, and we think that his staff especially does a great job with this. And it really is a matter of us getting the word out to landlords that they have to get that license. And if there's a problem, you have to call our police. Come and talk to maybe one of you elected officials. I know you've heard a few issues. That doesn't help on Saturday night, 11 o'clock, but our police can. So congratulations to you, Jimmy. You were well ahead of that and on top of it. Okay, so we have a number of things. The resolution 149 will be asking you to approve the lease with Lucy the Elephant. That has been a very highly publicized issue. It's resolved, and many thanks to people such as Bill Subin, who put a lot of their volunteer time into this, and have worked with the attorney, Mr. Stanchina, and we have what I believe to be a very fair lease agreement. I know the three of you wanted to get that done. It was an issue, but that lease is for your consideration tonight if you'll accept that. Another lease, Atlantic Alarm, real small matter, it's on our workshop. I am told by email that they don't want to proceed to rent it, that they were only using it for storage, and they're probably gonna try to pull out in a month or two, that they don't need the building anymore. The next thing would be the Remington and Vernick lease, and Ed Dennis, or not lease, agreement. We've worked very hard to have that contract. I know the city administrator, Deanie, was very much involved with that. We have it in final form. We would like you to approve that tonight. If so, congratulations. If you get, I think you have to have 2 out of 3 votes, so we'll see what happens. But you've been a pleasure to work with so far, and we've got the contract. I'm sure we can get that signed if there's any. I know Roger pointed out a few things as purchasing agent that he would like to see, which is fine with me. That's great. We have more eyes looking at it and checking it. So we're going to move forward on that. Give you a little report on Lombardi's. I know that's been a big issue. Parking lot, as Commissioner Amadeo has been on top of this. This has been his point man on this. We've got that parking lot. I know the lot was used today for the farmer's market, which was the intent, and that's great. It looks to me like they do have their financing. They're trying to get their foundation started, and hopefully that'll be by next week that they'll be on top of that. Let's see, Atlantic Alarm. I do need you to vote on the resolution authorizing the maintenance bond notice for the boiler leakage in our City Hall building, the United City Hall. So I hope you'll approve that resolution. I know you will. And last but not least, we were on front page today for a very good thing. Again, with the pier, and the commissioners had me, Amadeus had me working on all these terms of how we're going to do it and how we're going to have the public on there. But it's going to be kind of similar to Ventnor, where a section of the pier is open to the public. Hopefully this really comes through. It's up to the DEP. I know, Commissioner, you'll want to probably speak some words on that too. But it was a good article, and we were on the front page, and I'm always happy to see good articles. So
Aren't we all,
I
Scott?
think that's it. I think that's what we got. That's it.
Anything else? Fred, I didn't forget you this week.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that.
Fred is the proud grandfather. of a new
Yes,
baby.
yes, I am.
Pop now?
Pop. I'm Pop. The youngest Pop around.
Really?
It's true.
Pop, baby.
Pop. First of all, I'd like to say that today, Danny mentioned what was going on today at the fire department, and the group that visited they were from Easter Seals of Atlantic County, but they're special needs adults that came to visit, and I believe they had a fun time, and I think you guys had more fun than they did, because they are very friendly, and they never have a bad day. And they love donuts, as Danny could attest to, but they're a special needs group. Easter Seals is on Tilton Road. It's a great workshop for them. And if anybody ever has a chance to spend a day with one of these special needs people, do it. It'll change you. Secondly, we had the auction, as Matt mentioned. We got rid of a lot of surplus vehicles, $60,000 worth of vehicles. Matt and I use a different word, but so we made $60,000 on some vehicles that just sat around, did nothing. So I think we did pretty well. We'll probably look at
we'll probably look at doing another auction for some things in the next couple of months. I don't think it'll be that extensive, but there are some other things that we'd like to get rid of. And that's really all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Mark?
Okay, I have two things. So congratulations to the new chief. At 4:10 approximately, he took the oath, and it is now 4:31, and he is still here. So good luck, and Margate is lucky to have a new chief. So thank you. My second thing is, and it's another thank you, because I try and do thank yous at these meetings. It's a thank you to Frank and his team. For Frank, it is the rule, not the exception. When we had several complaints related to the situation over at the ball field, and it was the day before the 4th of July. And I called Frank and I said, hey, can you help me here? He said, well, I can help you tomorrow, but let me make sure that I'll get this thing done on Monday. And they were out and they fixed the situation out at the ball field with the bathrooms. And so I want to say thank you very much to you and your team for that. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mark. John?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, again, there's a lot of thank yous to go around the table, and congratulations to the chief. I want to mention between Scott and Maury, the city received a great accolade as being Atlantic County's favorite beach for the year 2019. So part of the attribute to that is the work that Frank and the Public Works crew perform every day, keeping it clean, manicuring it, and we do have a pristine beach, and that's proof of the work that goes in. And I want to thank Rich for going to Ocean City to receive it. We're the second favorite beach in the state of New Jersey, which I don't accept that. I'm going to tell you, we're the favorite beach in the state of New Jersey. Forget about Ocean City. Ocean City, they don't have what we have here in Margate. So we'll leave it at that. July 4th was an extremely busy July 4th weekend, as the chief attested to earlier. And what I witnessed and what I'm most proud of is I watched our police officers control the crowd on our beach, especially Plymouth Drive to Huntington. There was probably a couple hundred high school kids, having fun. I think there were minor issues, but with that said, it was pretty well contained. But more importantly, life-saving issues that I witnessed, and I want to compliment our chief and our lieutenant, our chief Greg Smallwood, our lieutenant Chuck LaBar, and all the lieutenants also. But on our beach particularly, there was, at the change of tide, there was an ebb current that was formed, and they picked it up right away. They called it into headquarters. Chief Smallwood manned the stand. They put one of our lifeguards on a board. They put two in a boat. And on the other beach, which is Jerome Avenue, Chuck LaBar went out on the boat on what we call layout, and another lieutenant manned that stand. And we put lifeguards in the water. I should say they did. There were 20 rescues in probably an hour and a half, pulling people out of water that were in danger. 20 that I witnessed, and I think that total day there were several more on other beaches, but just the way it formed and they could see it, they picked it up right away, and they kept the bathers in. The ones that were in harm's way were protected and brought to safety, and they kept everybody else safe by putting guys on boards and having can buoys out in the water for 3 to 4 hours. It was a pretty amazing thing to witness. We have our Margate Memorials, our annual Margate Memorials, which we call one of the triple three. We have the Wildwoods are next week.
Yeah, next Friday.
Next Friday. The following Friday is the Margate Memorials, and then on August 9th, the South Jersey Lifeguard Championships. We are going to have ESPN is going to set up a platform and broadcast it. So it'll be, they do all the major races. They're going to set up on our beach. Again, a special thank you to the police department for what they did today for the Easter Seals program, and to see the smiling faces on all those individuals was pretty unique. And Lisa, with the report you gave with the AA+, it just is a testament to all the professionals that we have in City Hall and all the professionals that we get for outside counsel that get us to the point where we're at. It's a well-managed city, and it just proves with those numbers where we're at. Last thing I want to bring up, and I need Maury and Mike's opinion on it, our bench program on the beach has been very successful. In fact, I asked Mr. Edge to give me, what's his first name? Anthony, I'm drawing a blank, what the status is. We have 29 of the 35 areas on the beach committed and done with. We've gotten other calls. I've gotten calls from other residents looking to put benches on Ventnor Avenue, putting benches elsewhere. And my personal opinion at this point is, I think Maury suggested at a former meeting that we should complete this program before we look anywhere else, because it's a lot of work for Public Works to go through the process. And looking at the pier, I think the pier would be the next venue that we would do. You know, Ventnor Avenue does get congested with pedestrians, and I think there are areas we could put benches there, but I don't know if we're prepared to do that just yet, and I think the business community has to be a part of that. So if there's any suggestions that you or the mayor have, I'd be willing to listen to them.
I agree with you, John. We've already, had this discussion, I think we should finish one and then.
Before we start another program.
Absolutely.
And so I was wondering if maybe we could look at the opportunity to put a second bench at each beach location. So I know that some that I've surveyed will accept a second bench without a problem. And maybe we could open up or expand the program at least to allow for a second bench at the original locations.
I would
That
agree
might
with
help.
that as long as we do all 35, and then the return would be, because there's people on the waiting list now that
Right.
want to be on specific streets.
Right.
So what I would say is, I agree to that.
Good.
As long as, Frank, do you think there's enough space there?
Yes, if there's enough space, yeah. We can actually take one up there next week and see if,
Why don't we do that?
just set one in there and just see if there's enough
yeah,
space.
Because I see people sitting on it at night,
Yeah.
all day
Yeah.
long.
It's
It's been
fantastic.
very successful. So with that, I
Good.
thank you for your input. Thank you, Mayor. And lastly, Fred, can I hire you? I have a lot of items to sell. Because I looked at the numbers today. The starting bid was $12,680, and he drew in $60,395. That's pretty remarkable, because some of the, what I'll call junk, not vehicles. Equipment, good term.
Remember, it's someone else's treasure.
Yeah.
And we actually have one more that's about to go too.
Let's-
That
let's-
one's gonna go up.
Yeah, so
Can
I have
can
a
I
few
just-
things I can get rid of, Fred.
Can I just have one word of warning? We have to be very careful about what we say, because the press reporter who got us on the front page today is sitting in the audience. Welcome, Michelle.
All right, that's all I have to report.
Thank you. It's funny how much we have in common. Today is my thank you day too. Repeating all the ones that everybody has already, thanked. And to top it off, it's really a great community we live in. It's very, you, the citizens, should be very proud of the community we live in. And I'm certainly I'm sure I can speak for all three of us. We're very proud of all of you. The municipal tax rate is down, I think, was it 2.1 cents, Lisa? Would that be correct? Correct. And bond rating. I mean, these are great things that happen. I don't know if they're worthy of front page, but maybe the world section. We've also, at the next, finished negotiating a lease with the Lucy Committee, and we will hopefully approve that at the next meeting. It's thanks to all those people who work so hard on both sides to get a fair and good lease for both of us. Today, Rich, I'll give you this now, the library, who also is partners with the cities and a lot of things, presented us with their audit, which is no recommendations, which is a clean audit. And they also want me to announce that they have agreed to do 3 concerts, August 14th, September 11th, and October 2nd. The 14th and the 2nd of October are a big band swing orchestra, and the September 11th date is a professional classical violinist. So once again, through all communications and cooperation with everybody, you will have some free entertainment. I think that's great. And with that, I will move on. Anybody else have anything to say before? Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Oh, public comment. John, you scared me to death. I said everything you wanted.
My favorite
Is there any
time.
public comment?
This is my favorite time.
Yes, you should be scared to death, Mayor. Indeed, you should. But my questions today go to
Name
the
and address,
CFO.
please. Name and address, please.
Sewell, 22 West Drive. The questions today go to the CFO.
No question, John. It's not a question and answer.
Well, then I'll dictate it to the CFO.
You can certainly write her and question her.
I will, if the bond rating, which is AA plus, and you're striving for a AAA, it is obvious that nothing can impair a bond rating more than bonded indebtedness. And bonded indebtedness is the bane of any AAA rating. And we cannot have tens of millions of dollars out on the table and not address the problems. We have an open-ended deal with the dredging. No one's put a dollar figure on that yet. I'm still waiting to hear. I don't know when or if or whenever it might ever be disclosed. And then,
John, we've been there before. When we have that information, it will become public.
well, if you were fiscally responsible, Mayor, you'd already be getting estimates and working on working estimates. I think that's the business-like thing to do, and I think you should pursue that with all vim and vigor that could be expected of an octogenarian. However, getting back to the bonded indebtedness, where we're talking about tens of millions of dollars to put up a boardwalk in Margate, and not to discuss that total dollar figure, not to have a revenue stream to fund it. I'm in a quandary to figure out why we don't have greater fiscal responsibility when it comes to bonded indebtedness. And I think it's important for this commission to put pressure upon the school district to remedy the 7 indices of efficiency that they do not meet. And I can tell you, if we were to consolidate and right-size to one school, it would provide a tremendous tens of millions of dollars of revenue to undertake the pipe dreams that are floating about Margate. Can't do these things, Mayor, and leave the city deeply in bonded indebtedness and ever aspire to keep a AA plus or aspire to a AAA when you don't want to be fiscally responsible. Fiscal responsibility starts with each and every member of this commission to demand where is the money coming from. Thank you very much.
Mayor, may I make one comment in response to that?
You
John-
certainly may.
Okay. John.
Your time is up, Mr. Sullivan.
Oh, I thought my time. John, I just want to point out that during the rating call, that is one of the things that is discussed, the amount of our debt, and our plans to repay our debt, how much we're planning on authorizing every year. But one of the things that's notable that actually benefited us is that we are allowed to borrow 3.5% of our equalized tax base, and we're at less than 1%, at 0.98. So considering the amount of debt we have, we can borrow a lot more. So we are, in fact, fiscally responsible when it comes to that. Not disagreeing with your point on the school, but that's a different, separate issue. But I just wanted to let you know that that is one of the factors that went into our rating.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Now is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to close public
I'll
comment.
second that motion.
Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
We will begin the meeting in 5 minutes.
Just go through it.
Yes.
Okay, may I have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Mayor Becker. Commissioner Amadeo.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.